Hey everybody, thanks for joining the Zeely Creative podcast that's geared to inspire and educate entrepreneurs, freelancers, and small business owners. I am your host, Crystal Benford, founder of Zeely Creative, a branding agency for innovators and forward thinkers. We change brand design with one story at a time. And today, let's find out 5 amazing ways to reinvent yourself when what you're currently doing does not work. Okay, let's get into these 5 amazing ways to reinvent yourself. But first, listen, some things don't need to be reinvented, like the wheel. It just doesn't need to be reinvented. However, you can make it better, more efficient, update the design for a smoother ride, and definitely upgrade it to be more appealing. But regardless of how much you add to it, its main purpose will always be to roll. So what does that have to do with you? I'll tell you. Sometimes we get an idea in our head that seems like a great idea. We don't just think it's a good idea, but we believe it's something people will absolutely love and want to buy. So immediately we get right to the drawing board to figure out how this could help people. We might even ask our friends and family members their thoughts on the idea just to get some feedback. And to everyone else, just like to you, the concept seems to be pretty good. You begin after that to develop the idea into a product or service that you see it being, and you try to figure out all the details like who could this help and how could it help him? How much is it worth? How long will it take to build it or put it together? How much should you even charge for it? You have all these questions going through your head that you're trying to figure out. Then once you have all your details together and you've done your research, you're ready for marketing and eventually selling. Now, of course, let's be honest. All these steps take some time to formulate in order to get a plan together, so this process is not an overnight venture, clearly. But you've actually put the time and energy into this, and you are absolutely positively sure this is going to be the next big thing. But your branding now is done. Your marketing is done. The website is ready to go. And you've even hired one of the neighborhood teenagers to handle your social media. Now is launch day and you're all set. But the thing is, you hear nothing and you see no one. You can almost hear the crickets chirp because it's so quiet. But you say to yourself, they say it takes a while to start a business and to get it up and running, so eventually the people will come. A couple of weeks go by, then a month, then 6 months, and overall, you've had a few clients here and there. You go as far as a year or even more before you realize that what you're selling isn't really in demand. So what do? Do you go another 3 or 6 months or another year to give it a try while you hemorrhage money and time? I should hope not. So listen, here are a couple of options for you. Number 1, you could either close your doors, take the loss, pout that it didn't work out, then go into depression and never envision yourself taking that leap again, giving up on all your dreams of owning a profitable business and going back to a cubicle job that you never fit in to begin with. Okay, now disclaimer. Corporate and cubicle jobs are great for corporate and cubicle-minded people that like politics and climbing the corporate ladder, and there's nothing wrong with that. But today, we're talking about you, creative one, the one that was not meant to be in a cubicle. So here, I'll give you a second option. Your second option is you can close the doors or not, accept the fact that your brilliant idea wasn't loved by all like you thought it would be, and next, move on to the next thing. Oh yes, you heard me. Move on to the next thing. Believe it or not, one of the biggest problems entrepreneurs and small business owners can make is not knowing when to let go when it's not working even after you've done everything right. If it's not working and you've crossed every T and dotted every I correctly, then don't waste any more valuable time kicking a wall that will not move. But guess what? I'm sure many people have been there. I would say we all have been there. I don't know who all has been there, but I know a lot of people have been there. But guess what? Regardless, it's not over. We talked about failure in the last podcast, and the name of that podcast was How to Recover from Failure. I'll add the link if you want to listen. But in this scenario, just because it didn't work out the way you intended doesn't mean that you failed. Honestly, there could be a number of reasons, like it wasn't the right timing, or maybe the product or service needed to be a little more refined, or it just wasn't something that was in demand. I mean, it happens. Regardless, if it's not working, let it go, at least for now, because like I said, maybe it's something that might work for you later. But for now, let it go. I'm going to tell you about a story that took a chance in reinventing themselves, and it profitably paid them a great investment. I just read a story about a local bakery in Greensboro, North Carolina called Maxie B's. They sell some of the most delicious cakes in the city. But they started out as a frozen yogurt shop that many people liked. However, during the owner's pregnancy, she craved chocolate cake and was determined to bake cakes until she created the perfect chocolate cake recipe. Once she perfected it, she brought it into the shop, which was then a yogurt shop, and people raved about the cake. Then they started asking if she could make other types of cakes, like other flavors of cakes. Then those cake requests turned into wedding cakes, then birthday cakes, then anniversary cakes, and many more cakes for whatever occasion you have. It wasn't until that moment that she ditched the original plan she had to be a frozen yogurt shop to taking the leap to now an amazing cake shop that carries a large variety of flavors that would, I was going to say literally melt your soul. Clearly, you wouldn't want that cake, but it is so good, it would just melt in your mouth, really. But here's the thing. She didn't stay locked in to frozen yogurt, which was her original idea, because that was something she started out with. No. She reinvented her business, took the chance, and pivoted when her market called or craved for something different. It was a gamble, but it was a gamble that paid off lucratively in the end because they are doing very well for themselves. So, how can we find out some great ways to reinvent ourselves when things are not working? So we'll start with the first amazing thing, which is not a brilliant idea, but here's the first thing. Be willing to change. When you're selling anything, it's never about you. I love to hear Gary Vee say, don't romanticize about it. I heard him say that in an interview one time. Because it's your idea, it's easy to be married to it and not want to let it go. But remember, it's not about you to begin with. It's always about what your market needs and how you can help them. You can't be so much of a stickler to your original idea that's not working that you completely miss out on the great opportunity that's possibly staring you in the face. Another great way, an amazing way, is when you're making that change to reinvent yourself, research your current market. Sometimes you don't even have to go outside of the market that you already have. Research your current market. If what you're selling doesn't work, then try listening to what your customers are saying. If you listen, they will tell you everything you need to know. That's what my grandmother used to always tell me. If you listen, people will always tell you everything you need to know. Come out of the sell mode and master the art of listening mode. We can gain a lot from being quiet and letting people speak freely. You might already have something that can help them, whether it's a service product or just consulting them. And guess what? If that's the case, you'll soon realize you were marketing the wrong thing, and you can easily shift gears to marketing to their need, which is hopefully something you already have to offer. Listen, let me tell you, it makes things so much easier for them and for you. Instead of us trying to force things down people's throats that they don't want or need, we could just listen and see what they need by them telling us. Another way is take the leap. When you're reinventing yourself, a lot of times we get caught up in fear. And we don't want to take that leap because we're scared, because we are attached to this original idea that's not really working out for us or getting us to the level that we want to be in. But guess what? Once you figured out what that it is, then take that leap. Get out of your own head and way and just back up, run, and jump. Because let me tell you, jumping helps you beat fear to the punch before it paralyzes you with its superpower. Oh, yes. Start the ball rolling as soon as possible. Don't go into a thinking process so long and deep that you completely miss the window of helping them when they need it most, which is right now. Start offering it to your current clients to see if it's something they're interested in. And if you've done your homework or research, as we talked about earlier, you'll already know that they'll be interested. Oh, yes, you will. You'll already know. Another wonderful way to reinvent yourself is to not be afraid to take mistakes. Understand this, that when the original plan didn't turn out the way you anticipated, that kid on the inside of you will want to go run and hide and not try anything new anymore. That's what the kid in you is going to do. But this is my advice to you. Man up or woman up. You're going to make some mistakes as you go, and it's inevitable. But you'll fix them along the way and you will be fine. I think I did another podcast about fear. Fear can be paralyzing and it can stop you. I remember a lot of things that I went through in life being so scary and so fearful that I didn't take the leap. I didn't jump, and it kept me from opportunities that I could have probably taken part of, that could have possibly got the ball rolling in other opportunities and other things that I wanted to do. So let me tell you, take that leap. Take that leap and do not stop. And not only take the leap, but we are on don't be afraid to make mistakes. Right, I went back up. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't worry about it. When you make mistakes, guess what? You'll fix them along the way. You're going to be better at it as you go. So don't be worried about the mistakes. Let them happen. Then you'll learn to fix them, and then you can move forward. Okay, and now we are to our final thing that can help us to reinvent ourselves when things are not working currently. Don't copy anyone else. We have enough Beyoncés. We have enough Kim Kardashians. We have enough Tyler Perrys. We have enough Steve Harveys and Oprah Winfreys. Okay, they are phenomenal because what? Because they didn't copy anybody else. They came out just how they were. You only need to be you. At all costs, no matter what people tell you, you be you. There is no one like you. When you're reinventing yourself, take the stuffiness out of it that you think people want to see. Because really, honestly, what people really want and love are other real people. If you're energetic and fun, then let that be a part of your new and improved reinvention. If you're serious and a little more corporate, like suit and tie, then let that be a part of your remodel business. Honestly, we'll talk about all that and how it relates to branding in a coming branding course that I'll be bringing to you. Plug. It's okay to stop looking at the competition. I mean, it's okay to look at the competition. It really is. Because you get really good ideas sometimes from what they're doing and how you would do it differently. But what's going to make you stand out is you and your personality, and letting those two things go throughout your brand so that it could be a more something that people can connect with. That's what we want to do. Don't psych yourself up into believing you're less than the heavy hitters out there that you look up to. Don't. You're just as powerful as they are. Now I want you to own it so you can reinvent yourself. So listen, in conclusion, I want to tell you this story about someone that I heard. I heard one of the old Shark Tank investors. I was listening to a podcast. His name is Kevin Harrington. I know some of you or most of you might know who it is. He was one of the original people on the Shark Tank who is a multimillionaire. And I remember him making a statement that really stood out to me, and I never forgot it. He said that he gives a business, product, or service that he invests in 3 months to start making money. That's it. Just 3 months. He said if it doesn't start making money after that, he ditches it and moves on to the next thing. Now, I know as an entrepreneur, you have probably put all your eggs in this basket as an investment, and it probably wasn't millions of dollars, but regardless, it could have been all you had or close to that. So you're probably thinking that he can afford to do that. And you're right, he can. But I'm sure, and here's where you can glean, I'm sure he paid attention to the signs to see what was working and what wasn't working. We have to be okay to admit when something is not working and know the signs when people want something different other than what we've been offering. If our market is hurting for something other than our original idea, then let's find out how we can remedy that with our inventory of skill and knowledge and genius. And once we find out what it is, let's get to reinventing ourselves and businesses as the secret superheroes that we are. Because honestly, our businesses and what we do is to help others have a better way of life, whatever that is, whether it's through entertainment, whether it's through plumbing, whether it's through fixing cars, whatever that is, what we offer should better someone's lives, should fix a problem, should cure an illness. Okay, maybe that's going a little too far. But still, if you have that, then offer that. But we have to get out of our own minds and be okay to reinvent ourselves. So I'll recap because I like to recap. First, number one amazing way to reinvent yourself, be willing to change. The second amazing way to reinvent yourself, research your current market. 3, take the leap. Don't be scared. Take the leap. 4, don't be afraid to make the mistakes. You will fix them along the way. Mistakes are inevitable, but it helps us grow. And number 5, don't copy anyone else. Who you are is amazing. And that's what we want to see. That's what your market wants to see. That's what your client, that's what your customer, that's what your patient wants to see is you, the real you. They want real people. They need real people. So reinvent that into your business. Okay, I hope this helped you all. I'm having a little tongue tied tonight. I hope this helped you all. And I am so glad that you listened and that you joined the podcast. If you are enjoying this, feel free to leave a comment or to like it. You can follow Zeely Creative or join us on all the social media platforms